Welcome back to Chels 99. Bit of a surprise there, but we move. Can you guys make sure you're liking the video, yeah? And subscribe to the channel. And this comment is why I paused. Because this is absolute factually information-y that stuff you guys need to do. Don't join the stream without liking the video and sub to the channel. Don't be that bozo who joins, freelances, and then bakes off. Don't be that guy, bro. Don't be that guy. Bet you're saying in the background. Every single person you see in this channel, yeah, will be down below in the description. So there's no excuses, but show them support, show them love. Yes, you hit 1K 2 days ago. So you get me? All this helps. So be it yourself, man. Stephen Michael always here. But just post us is a con. Current one, yes, man. And now we have Matisse lookalike. Rosenior is back to Potter settings. Williams job Luco out. No surrender, you know. Crazy. Master Scares. If you want our Chels back, you must protest every home game with a lot of energy and one message only, Blue Co out. So 2 people already off the bat, Blue Co out. So very interested to see what the panel says about that. Varying views, varying opinions. Yeah, maybe be respectful in the chat. Comment what you think. Just give me, Asir, Jesse, Rob, Dan, whoever joins, Ahmed, whoever it is, show respect, yeah? And first things first, up to Chels. And definitely sub to me as well, because I'm very close to hitting 2,300 subscribers. And 50% of you are not subbed. So it would help a lot if you guys will sub to the channel and support it in that way. But yeah, man, let's bring them out. Here early on time. You see, as always, beat yourself, brother. And Jesse TV. Both descriptions, by the way, will be down below. Supporting the people, them. You get me? What you man saying, though?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about you, lot? You good?
Are you, Jesse?
I'm good as well. I'm good as well.
You sure? Chelsea's a bit of a clammy right now.
What'd you say?
Chelsea's a bit of a mess. So I'm surprised you guys are good.
You asked me how I'm doing. You never asked me how the club's doing.
I know, but the club always feeds into personal life, isn't it?
True.
It does. It does.
Actually, that's a good question. Random topic. Does football actually seep into people's personal life? Like, if Chelsea lose, it actually ruin your week.
To a point.
Be honest.
Oh yeah, 100%. Performance.
So when we say ruin week, let's be clear. Does it mean like suggesting Yasir, yeah? Does it mean you think about it? Or is it like we lost and it bigs a damper on your mood? Or is it like Chelsea lost? Chelsea lost.
Before it used to.
Nah, to be honest, recently, yeah. Not recently in terms of like I don't even know how to say, bro. Like a little bit in terms of like when I'm, because then I'm like, now I have to do these panel shows and I lost.
That part of it, yeah.
That's the extra bit. But if it's just, bro, I've always been one of those guys that if we lose, I'll just keep it moving, bro. Because otherwise it will just affect me too much. So I have to keep it moving. This is why it kind of rubs people the wrong way when they see me smile and that. I'm like, bro, if I'm not smiling,
it's chill, innit?
Yeah, I'm like, bro, if what's it called? If you don't laugh, you'll cry. So I'm like, brother, I don't know what to do. There's nothing that we can do about it in terms of the performance on the pitch, specifically I'm talking about. But yeah, man, for me, it's just like everything, because this is the thing as well. For me, it's that one step forward, two steps back thing. I think at some point it wears you down, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Just as you think the team's doing well and we're going in the right direction, and then boom, the manager, bro, everyone's asking me about my predictions for the season. I'm like, brother, I couldn't predict the manager was going to get sacked on New Year's Eve. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's a little bit different in that aspect. But I don't know how you guys feel, but I kind of feel like not necessarily the season's ruined, yeah, but it's almost like, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Should we start off there then? Let's start off there. Big up, Jay, just joined. Let's start off there, yeah? Yeah, see, ask a good question. So, Jess, you start with you, because the question directed at you first. Do you feel like, straight off the bat, do you feel like the season's done because we've got a new manager? When people usually get new managers, usually doesn't end up good. Usually. In the last few years, doesn't it end up being good? So what do you think?
The season's been done. It's been over a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, it's been over? Shoot.
Yeah, it's been over. This season is another write-off season for Chelsea Football Club. We can't say, like Bro just said, right? We always take 1 step forward, then 2 step back. And this is the prime definition of that. We thought we were going somewhere with Maresca. We really thought we were
true.
going somewhere with Maresca. Now, a couple weeks of madness, and we are here. This is where we are at now. I saw you had in your.
You think the last 7, 8 games ruined the season? Is that what you think?
I think 2 things here, right? One of them is a norm, which is our December struggles, normal struggles.
Yeah.
That needs to be seriously addressed because it's been season after season. We always struggling when we come to this December hardship time, and also the whole Maresca situation. When that started happening, I was like, yeah, this season is dead. This is dead.
So you think right now is damage limitation where we're just going to be floating around
in a top 4 race. That is where we are at. We are in another top 4 race. That is where we are at. The only thing we can really do right now is try to make deep cup runs. And that is where it seems where we striving, going through the cups and stuff like that. We have to admit it, we are a cup team. We do better in cups. We can't be consistent over a 30 game season. We can't do it. And this has been going on for a number of seasons now. So for this season,
100%.
Yet another write-off. I saw you put in your thumbnail if it is a panic or is it a process?
Yeah, it's a process or panic, basically. Yeah,
it is a panic. How much time different manager come? Is it going to be a process?
From that point of view, I actually do hear you. So you basically think, yeah, because basically that contradicts the model, yeah, for Jay and yesterday. I know Jay, he's probably going to go to a protest and Jay's promoting it and stuff. But listen, people, let's be honest. You see the model they want to do? Apparently, according to them, it doesn't necessarily need like a singular manager to carry it through. So firstly, do you think that's the real reality of the situation? Or do you feel like you need one manager no matter what squad you have?
Thing is, my issue isn't however many managers we have, because we got successful with that under Roman. My issue is who they bring in. Like I tweeted this the other day. Every movement they make is either sideways or a downgrade, whether it's a manager or whether it's a player. Like we sacked Tuchel, we brought in Graham Potter, and then Poch leaves, we bring in Enzo Maresca. Let's be honest, at the time, none of us were really sold on, because we thought, oh, it's 1 season in Championship. And then to be fair to him, he done well in his first season, got 2 trophies and got us top 4 Champions League without even needing the 5th place. And then now we got rid of Maresca and we're bringing in Liam Rosenior. That's my issue. So the issue isn't about sacking managers, because plenty of successful clubs do that. It's just who they're bringing in. That's the issue.
Yeah, so what you're saying is the Roman model, not only do you have good players and a good spine, you brought in good managers. So they winning managers as well. So they had experience to win. And you couple that with the squad and the mentality of the club, meant you won.
And another thing to add to that is when Roman got rid of managers, it wasn't because of like, oh, they disagreed with the model. It was just because they just weren't getting rid of the results went left. But this is the case of they getting rid of managers just because as soon as they speak out or they don't agree with the model. Like Maresca asked for a centre back, didn't get one. He started to voice his frustrations. He's gone. And as I say, I'm not losing sleep over the fact that Enzo Maresca's left, because I think he was, as well as he done for us, he was flawed as a manager, and I think there are better managers out there. But I know we're not going to get one of them better managers, and that's why I'm frustrated about it.
Okay, that actually makes sense. I actually do get that. But yeah, the reason why I laid that up in that question that way, people don't know, like they double down on the model. Yeah, man, just keep pushing the lights, keep pushing the subs, get more people in there. Of course, I can mod you, man. Of course. Big up boy Chesney. If you know, you know, innit? If you know, you know. He played for Arsenal as a goalkeeper. We didn't know, by the way. and his name sounds similar to mine.
Oh my days, hyper,
But
bro.
big up Rob who's just joined us. Or big up the panel. Everyone here below. Descriptions, no excuses. Rob's Twitter's there as well. Rob's talking on Twitter now, so that's a good thing, I guess. But yeah, the reason why I laid it up like that, Jay, and Rob can respond next, is because the model for them is not really about individuals. It's about the overall pyramid, isn't it? So for them, it's plug and play. So if someone's not performing, you can replace them with someone else. If a manager's not performing, you can replace them with a manager. Same with the hopefully sporting directors. If they finally get under scrutiny, you can replace them. But the model remains the same. Now, no one's seen this model work before, so that's why I understand when people are very annoyed, and even I can get frustrated at times. But I'm sure Rob will elaborate on why maybe people are being different perspectives. Are people being very results-heavy reactions? Meaning, when we were doing up and down in the league early in the season, I didn't hear protests, but obviously because we've got one win in 8, it's more prevalent. Is it because of the results, or is it really because of the Maresca sacking? If Maresca got sacked and we won 6 out of 8, would there be a protest?
I'll let Rob answer, then I'll answer.
I'll let Rob respond. Let's be honest, guys. Jesse and Jesse, think about what I just said. If Chelsea had 6 wins in 8 and we were above Aston Villa or below Aston Villa by 1 point, would there be a protest happening on 17th of Jan?
No, but I think it's accelerated, then it gets accelerated because of this makes it adds fuel to the fire. People, you know how it is, we're always rumbling. Like a volcano, if that makes sense. You get it?
Yeah, 100, when it erupts.
The minute other things add to it, it becomes a big problem. But a lot of us have never really been convinced, so we're always there. Do you get what I'm saying?
So there's an element of confirmational bias then, where people don't like the ownership, so they will use anything to hit with. Is that fair to say?
But football's a results-based business, though. If you don't get results, it's one of those
issue,
where it's justified.
But let's talk about that in more depth, man. Rob, what do you think about the whole protesting? And the question I put in the thumbnail was, like Jesse said, panic or process. Is this part of the process, or should people be like, rah, another manager's gone? You know what I'm saying? Like, Rob, what are you saying now? Kind of thing.
I mean, I've always been of the opinion that this is a protest in the football world. Unless you're doing like it's a mass like crazy one like the Super League where the entire Europe is protesting that decision, then I can hear that, right? Like, but if it's just, oh, I'm not happy because Maresca got sacked, or I'm not happy because of how the players who bought in and whatnot, then to me that United have done it, Spurs have done it, Chelsea did it last year. Like it's Arsenal have done it. It is not, just to put it plainly and bluntly, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. This, the only way to affect, and I'm not saying, I don't have any problem with the recruitment. I don't have, because when we go and beat Barca and Arsenal, I don't hear anybody complain about the recruitment. When we're bringing on, Andre Santos off the bench and all this stuff, nobody's complaining about how, the young players, we don't have experience. It is when we go against Leeds and you don't win, and you go against, all of a sudden these players are not good enough, but they're good enough to beat Barcelona and Arsenal and to, dismantle Liverpool and Spurs. And then, when we come that, the manager is not doing his job properly, everybody's just, oh, it's the players. The players, they have to be are culpable as well, no doubt. But for me, the biggest culprit this season of our form and our result and where we are has been the manager. The manager has not been locked in here, has not been fully engaged and focused on getting wins for Chelsea Football Club. He's been more interested in making points, interested in making, and getting his points across, and raising his profile in the game than actually winning games. And if we were winning games, this wouldn't be there. And I promise you, if we beat Fulham and we beat Charlton and we beat Arsenal, I don't think, again, with all due respect to Dubs, I like him as a guy and as a brother. I
love when people set up like that. I love that. That's the best. Listen, yes, I love you a lot.
It's not gonna be. You'll see, a couple hundred people will show up and they will have placards saying this one say Bruco out, this one will say Win Stanley out or whatever. But the overarching point is, if you really want to affect change, you need to do something to affect. You can't just be shouting, "Oh, I want change, I want change, I want change." What are you fans willing to do to affect that change? Are you willing to walk out the stadium at halftime and leave it empty to make it
what's
big?
your response to that?
You know,
Yeah,
are you willing to not buy a Chelsea kit for as long as Clearlake is here? No, you're not. Are you willing to just go like against Man City? You don't watch game, but everybody goes and just protests in front of Stamford Bridge while Chelsea is playing. Are you willing to
I did see a packed away crowd.
Are you willing to do those things? As long as you're
not lie.
Something that will hurt you yourself.
No, my response to that is I agree with Rob, and that's what I'm worried about with this fan base. Me personally, I'm not going to another game this season. I'm going to go to the ground. I'm going to go, but obviously I can't speak for every single other Chelsea fan.
100%. No, you can't.
But my thing is, it's like to go back to your original question. If we were like so and so points above Villa,
if we won 6 and 8, do you think it will be the same Vim?
No, I wouldn't. But the point is, we haven't. That's the point. And we're back at this point again in the season. If we go through the seasons under this ownership, 22-23, their very first season, our worst season in modern history. Let's say it as it is, we finished 12th. Second season under Poch, only towards the last 6 games of that season. The rest of the season was a mess. The last season under Maresca, we won 2 trophies, but once again we fall off in December. We're at the title race, and then we're back in this position now, and we're actually worse off than we were last season. So why Chelsea fans are getting frustrated now, and why it's all kicking off now, is because a lot of Chelsea fans are waking up and realizing, you know what? Under this ownership, under this model, we spent however much money, and our left winger pairing is Garnacho and Gittins, our striker pairing is Delap and João Pedro, and our best winger is Pedro Neto, who had a stinker yesterday, and had a couple of stinkers this season. But we consider him our best winger, barring maybe Esteval, who's easing his way into the squad. So the issue is, like, a lot of Chelsea fans realise that this model of buying players, and they've clocked it as well. They're buying these players so they can get minutes and then flip them. Look at the Josh Acheampong situation. Maresca didn't get a centre back because they're saying to him, "No, listen, you got Josh here. Play him because we're going to flip him on in the summer. We're going to flip him on eventually." Like
that's true. See, that's the thing. I guess when people say, I don't like this model, I don't know if it's because if Maresca being told, we don't want to buy another centre back who's 20 years old when we already have a 19-year-old in house who we rate. So why would we go out there and buy another 20-year-old centre back?
What if Maresca didn't rate him?
What if Maresca didn't rate him? Yeah, that's fine. If Maresca doesn't rate him, we're not gonna go and say because Maresca doesn't rate X player and Y player, then we should get rid of them. Then what happens when Maresca leaves, then we've sold all our best. That is what United have done with Ten Hag. That's what United have done with Ten Hag. And now they got Xerxes, they got Hoyland, they got all these players that they got stuck with because they only bought players that the manager liked.
But do you not think Maresca deserved to be backed somewhat, considering he won us 2 trophies last season?
He got backed.
Who's the system is it? Scaring Kunku and Felix and all these lot.
Say that again.
Oh, it's him. He wasn't playing them.
He wasn't playing in Kunku, Felix, Vega.
Renato Vega and that. Like he wasn't
playing KDH in Prem games. Now you see what KDH is doing. Everything just like he couldn't do this for a game or 2 for Chelsea.
And so I think that's where the fallout came from. That is where the fallout came from, right there. Him not actually giving these other players a chance. Yes, two things could have been happening here. Enzo Maresca probably thought that, all right, I really do give these players a chance, but giving these players a chance, knowing that they could be flipped and sell for profit. So why was the sense incorporating them into the team when they're going to go anyways?
You can build the team around them. You can build them within the team, and then when you think you've built something, all of a sudden they tell you, "Oh, by the way, we're selling him."
They're going to flip and sell these players.
So you have to build in mind without them.
It really doesn't make much sense to do that.
And he was giving players chances because they.
To be fair, let's break this down, boys. You know, people say that.
Just not in the league.
Yeah.
Jesse, let's say that's true. What players in our squad are they looking to flip?
we already
I reckon
saw some of
49.
them.
You know, I
We
reckon
already saw
49 being
some of
flipped.
them
Yeah, we bought
against
him for like
City.
50, like 45 million though.
30 something between 40 something.
Still
Innit?
like,
But let's be realistic. When people say, I hear that point a lot. People go to me, "Oh, yeah, Chels, they're gonna flip most of your players, and they force Maresca to play certain players." I go, "Cool. Let's say you're correct. Who are they gonna sign and flip then?"
Remember, we can still
That's
play to
cost 50
Atletico
million.
and that,
that was
bro.
only
Huh?
35
Like those
mil.
plays to Atletico,
You said,
Saudi,
Joe?
and all that.
I said the lap was only 35 mil. He's an English striker. He's only 21, 22.
Yep.
Yeah, but
If he doesn't
where's
work,
this
then-
notion come from
I
that
think- I
like
think
every single player we sign has to be flipped?
this is where I think
That's-
people miss.
that's what we
I don't know.
People miss.
I think people misconstruing what the quotes
Because
actually
the
mean.
matter is we buy the youngest players. The cream of the crop will
Yeah.
stay.
Would stay.
Those on
Yeah.
our fringe will sell. Like the
Yeah.
Cole Palmer, you will stay. Esteban, you
you
stay.
don't-
Gusto,
no,
The
you
problem,
stay.
yeah, Rob,
You
you're
don't
right.
think- you think in the
Yeah,
summer, so
that is what it is.
you seriously don't think in the summer if Real Madrid came in with 150 mil for Cole Palmer, they're not taking it?
They will take it. They
That's
will
what I'm
take
saying.
it.
They'll take it.
They will take
Nah,
it.
No, I don't think they take it.
No, they'll take it. They're gonna they're gonna take. They'll take
Rob,
it, bro. That's
Rob,
what I'm sorry,
Rob,
man.
just
No,
let me
I
interject
think
here,
'cause
guys.
they know
Let me
it's a step back though.
Wait,
Let
is
me
that a
interject
bad
here,
thing?
guys.
If they took it, is that a bad move though?
Yeah, but that's my point. If they want to,
Okay, let me ask you this: if that same question, if Real Madrid went in for Arsenal for 150 million for Saka, would they take it?
no, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
That-
They
yeah,
probably
they
would.
would.
listen,
That's
here's
why
what here's what I will say,
Jay,
guys.
150
Yeah,
mil.
but I
That's
do,
more than
man.
Neymar, bro.
Yes,
Finish, bro.
here's
He's
what
not
I
the
will
same
say.
Saka.
Here's what
Huh?
I will say.
You say it's
Saka's not the same Saka, bro. Of course they'll take 150.
That's what I'm saying, but that's their best player. That's Rob's point.
Now,
That's my
here's
point, though.
what I will.
And everybody
Palmer's
says
not playing like a
they
40
sell
GA
the best
season,
player
is he?
for 150
Yeah.
million.
Palmer's not even getting like 5 GA. He's not even doing
Okay.
nothing.
All right. There's another one. If someone came in for 50 mil, no 60 mil for the lap in the summer, they'll take that.
Why
They're
would you
gonna-
not take that? He's
they
done
will
nothing
take
for
it.
us.
That's
But again,
double.
TJ, that's what I'm saying. People will hear you say that and go, huh?
That's
Say
a
what?
fringe player. He's not. He hasn't proven himself to be like untouchable.
Yeah,
the
like
player
JJ,
that's
if
gonna
we
come
sell
in,
someone
they
for
will
double
prove
the
But
money,
themselves.
you said
untouchable.
elite recruitment though. You said elite
He said
no,
recruitment.
but
Recruitment,
yeah,
like,
see,
That is
it.
part of
If you
recruitment.
buy someone, for 30 million
Yeah.
and then flip them for 60 million a year
They
later,
money
how is that not elite?
all day.
None
How is that not elite recruitment?
matter that's the definition of elite recruitment. You buy
It
for
doesn't mean the
30,
player's elite.
Okay, so what you're saying is elite recruitment is only depends on like them being flipped and making profits, and not
No one said that. No one said that. No one said that.
Elite
I'm not
recruitment
saying you, I'm
means
saying what?
elite recruitment. You bring the young players, the cream of the crop, make it a Chelsea. Those on the fringe, those squad players. If somebody comes and offers you, like Noni Madueke is not a untouchable player at Chelsea.
I disagree. Here's what I will say. Here's why I disagree, Rob. Right? None of us here, Cole Palmer, none of us thought he was going to be what he is today.
Okay, good.
If
I
Real
agree.
Madrid
You see with me,
now
yeah.
150
Sorry, Jesse,
million, they are going to take
Go on,
it.
you say speak after, yeah?
Mhm.
Go on, Jesse,
Right?
finish your point, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, they are going to take it. Right? I hear the point that it have players that may be untouchable, but what I program myself to be under these owners don't get attached to any player.
Jesse, the difference is if you come and offer a market rate, if you come and blow it out the water, if you're being honest, Cole Palmer is not worth 150 million pounds, right? As a player on the market, that's really not. It's not really, he's a good
Cole
player.
Palmer isn't worth 150 million pounds.
Okay,
But Isak is.
No, but I'm saying if you go and offer Bayern Munich 150 million for Olise, they sell him. If you go and offer PSG 150 million for Kvaratskhelia or Dembele, they sell him. It's out of the water money. Close.
And it will be the same thing here for Chelsea. These owners are in the business of making money.
I disagree.
First.
Okay. Let me lower it. 110 million. 110 million.
One sec. Yeah, I think you lot are confusing like elite recruitment in terms of business and what that does on the pitch. We don't like you can say elite recruitment and you bought him and we taking the
Mute yourself. You muted yourself.
Mute yourself.
They just muted by itself, bro. Yeah, he muted me, like the fraud. Do you know what I'm saying? It says host muted, but
You know,
now nah,
I was trying
I'm
to turn up
joking.
the volume and press mute. Sorry, I
Nah.
see.
So essentially, what I'm trying to say is that we're confusing when we say elite recruitment. I get that, but I'm saying like then you get in the young player, he's becoming worth more, but that's business. That does nothing for us in the present on the pitch. And I think that's two different things. If you can say, yeah, we're getting players and they're worth more now. That's what I called it, the side hustle. Do you get me? Buy and sell your lemonade on the side. I don't care. Just don't leave your work until you actually make money from it. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, can I say something on that though?
We're not.
Retail.
No,
You know when you
but I
said, yeah,
think-
people can't decompartmentalize between the recruitment and like selling players. Do you know what the example is? Like Neto. Neto, yeah, has been a good servant for us in a way. People say he's falling off now. And guess who's going to be leaving our club in summer probably? Neto. Now, if we sell Neto, yeah, for 55 million or 60 million, which is very likely, by the way, we would have made money on the guy, used him to help us with trophies, and used him to hopefully help us with more trophies this season and UCL football. How can that people use their small brains and go, oh, you bought him to flip him? But no, we haven't, because we can all agree right now he's not good enough, is he? For the elite level, is he?
No.
Is Neto good enough to stay, boys? On my line?
Nah.
So we sold him and made money. Rivals, we would not understand the model. Like, oh, you flipped him. But then that's like anybody. If you buy a player who doesn't end up good enough and you make money on him, why would
The
you
only
not?
reason I used to celebrate flipping a player was because at least I knew we didn't leave on a loss. He didn't just stink out of my club and then we
imagine
lost the
Neto
money.
left on breaking even. We were all sitting there like, what's the point? Like, might as well get
Yeah,
someone better.
but in terms of
look
course,
at
I'm
some
going to
of
be disappointed because a player's come in and he's not really done what I expected from him to do. And you get what I'm saying? I think in general, it's just one of those for me where I think it's one of those when you're looking at, okay, cool, a player's come in. What, like, because remember, yeah, if you look at Pedro Neto, really, you probably remember the run up to what, maybe the goal against Fulham and this and that, and then maybe the little run in the Club World Cup. Do you know what I'm saying? Other than that, you think, cool, what else have you done for us at the club?
He's way too inconsistent. Like, he's too
exactly. So then I'm looking at it thinking, okay, cool. Then I'm just looking at business opportunity. Then
he makes you miss Mudryk,
because this is the thing, yeah. Cucurella took him a while to get to their levels, and like certain players might take him a bit longer. So if we flip them in 2 years, it might be profit. But then you see players that are left like Lewis Hall or stuff like that. We knew they were good anyway in the beginning, but that we could have had in our team, but instead we were too busy, for example, flipping this guy and see it. It's almost like we're bringing him to see, are you good enough or not, bro? Training center.
To be
okay,
fair,
cool, you're not good enough.
I don't count this. You mentioned Cucurella. I don't count the Sterling, the Koulibalys, and the like Cucurellas because they were signed by Todd Bowley himself when he was at the Sporting Director.
Yeah, I called it Football Manager. Do you remember? I called it Football Manager.
But yeah, no, I just think Neto. I think for Neto, we haven't got the return that we thought we would have got on Neto. We can all agree he's been slightly disappointing. He's had some good moments, but he hasn't been like an elite signing for us, really.
Considering he hasn't been injured, sorry, dude. Yeah, considering he's been more available than we expected. I'm assuming all of us kind of expected him to be very injury prone, but he's been quite fit. So we've probably thought he was going to do better than he actually done. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think certain players, yes, you can bring them in, but if you have to have a balance between not necessarily instant impact, but some players that actually give you something in the present, and then you have the players coming in the future.
But yeah, this is the thing.
I don't even know how to say. It's like a vending machine, bro. Once the ones that are in the vending machine,
but the whole reason why, in my opinion, people are going way too early and wanting the manager out and the whole thing out. I'll tell you why. It's because you see what you're talking about. You see, they're trying to build that by getting the managers to develop the players to become staples. That's the whole point. We're starting from scratch. We only started this 2 years ago, and some of the players you've even got have only been here a year. So let's say players like Fofana, who become injury free, yeah. If he stays fit, he'll be one of the players who will stay in the defense. And Cucurella and James, and then all you've got to do is plug in one centre back, and now everyone would argue you got a decent back five. Sanchez has improved this season. So the reason why I'm confused is people want stability, but the whole reason we're playing these young players and they're making mistakes is to one day eventually get stability from them.
Yeah.
But people are willing, but understandably, by the way, because we're Chelsea Football Club, people aren't willing to wait for that. Do you get it?
I don't even think it's a waiting thing though. Big up, man. Them. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit. I might pick up my kid and whatnot, but I don't even think it's about like a weight thing. Like it's just for me. I look at it like this, man. How do you get to stability with no foundation? Like, and the foundation for me is still with the experience, right? You got to have experience to build, to give these kids something to build off of, right? Like none of these guys know how to win together collectively, right? You know, and I just think that there's a consistency that comes with, you know, with experience. Like you learn how to win 4 or 5 matches on the trot. You know how to, you learn that through experience. And, you know, this model right now, I've seen it in other sports. Like teams that have been floundering, like in basketball for years, always get the number one pick. And irrespective of how many pieces they bring in, number one pick, they're still floundering because they don't have the experience and the leadership to get them out of that position, right? So, I mean, I just don't think this model is something that we really hang our hats on and be like, yeah, this is the way forward. It's just never proven to work, and I think that's what the biggest issue is. We haven't seen this thing come to fruition ever in sport. And then you look at like the whole Neto thing. Like I don't know what you guys expected from Neto. I'm actually quite content with what he's given. You know, like he's not necessarily hit the heights, but I mean the guy's got like what 9 GA in how many games this year? Like that's one of the better wingers in the league this year. You know, yeah, he's not hit the heights, but I wouldn't say that he's been like a complete utter failure. That's for sure. Like I think he's actually been pretty decent this year in particular. But you know, that's me. I didn't expect him to be like a world-class winger. You don't pay $65 million for a world-class winger. You pay $65 million for a serviceable like squad player. Really, these days, this day and age, like you don't get like elite for $65 million.
You saying
and especially with the wages too. What we're paying him in wages is like what, 100K maybe? You're not getting that.
But Couch, don't you say you've never seen this model work in sports? Isn't it the same model that Oklahoma City employed and won the championship last season?
Yeah, but they didn't do it just like a bunch of kids, so they still had experience.
They're all, you know, one very good superstar who's Shea, who's a kind of our Cole Palmer, and everybody else is basically very good players around him to form a really, really good team. Yeah. And you get a young coach, right? And you're going to win, and you beat way more experienced teams on the way there.
I mean, Shea is a great example for sure. Shea is a great example. Canadian, Hamilton, where I'm living right now, to be honest. So big up Shea. But ultimately, they didn't do it with just a bunch of kids. They didn't do it with a bunch of kids.
They did. I mean, the only experience they had is Caruso. Everybody else was pretty much young. Everybody else.
I mean, the process to getting to the championship was not built with a bunch of kids, though. Like they had experience there, and then they moved the pieces out and moved pieces.
Yeah, but we're developing the experience. What's your response?
Yeah, we're developing the experience. How though? How are we developing the experience?
They got rid of the
playing time,
Melo, the George.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than that. I honestly, Robert, I hear you. Like that's not a bad example, to be honest. But you're saying you were developing the experience with playing time. Is that the kind of experience that you need, though? To just like play and then you're just going to figure it out?
You have these really super highly talented young players, right? That are being shepherded by a young head coach, right? Who doesn't have experience winning either, but because you have the talent and you've built a system and a style of play that helps you go and over, because your talent superiority, you're more athletic than most, you can run more than most, you have, you know, an elite player, and that can go to that, you know, you bring in a Caruso who's like, is like a, you call it what? Can you call him a KDH, for instance? Like he's not really an elite, but he's a utility.
No, he's a squad guy. He's a squad
guy. Yeah, so you can bring experience in, you know, for a squad guy, but most everything from the Chet, the J-Dub, the Shea, everybody else is just a young player. Because they're so talented and they play together as a team, led by the young coach, he propelled them.
You're still missing my point, though. They got to the championship through the process of building on experience first, though. They've traded a pick here, traded picks here, and brought in pieces. I don't want to turn this into a basketball discussion. I'm saying that even if you look at it from a Chelsea,
it's a good example to use, though, Rob. To be fair.
It isn't a bad example. I'm not going to lie. It is a good example because we've seen it in basketball before too. Sometimes it doesn't work. Where Minnesota went first round pick here, and could not build a winner. So for every example one, we can probably have like about 10 the other. But this is what I'm saying.
Guys, around it off. I want to move on. Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is we have a fan base, even with Roman, that when things aren't going great, because of the way Roman went about it, we're just used to chopping and changing. So this mentality of chopping and changing with these managers, when the blue come out, I understand it because our fan base was like this even with Roman here. The problem is with Roman, people have blue tinted glasses on. They kind of forget the way the last 7-8 years of Roman actually went, and it wasn't that good. We were losing in finals. We were regressing with transfers. Our manager appointments were decent, but overall, in the end, Tuchel got sacked with the new ownership. But even with Tuchel, people had reservations over him even after the Champions League win. Okay, so what the new ownership have tried to do, I think, if Roman left us in a good state, I don't think they would have changed too much. But the fact that we were going declining, I think they've made a wholesale change and added their own bit on it. Now, I agree with you when you say how you're going to develop your experience and stuff playing. Is it sustainable? We've never seen it before. How good is that experience? At the end of the day, experience is experience. And I would not be annoyed if my team was to finish 4th in the league and 3rd in the league, winning another trophy, because that still is experience and getting to a certain level. That's not the level we want, by the way, but at least it's something I could be like, cool. You're winning on the way and you're improving. So I think that's why the fan base is annoyed, because like Jay said before, by the way, you said the Chelsea fans would have stuck by it in the summer, but then after seeing us do the same thing as last year and regress further this year under Maresca, that's where the frustration comes in. And that's why your response to me saying 6 and 8, that didn't happen, so we can't talk about it, is relevant. Because in my opinion, if we hadn't regressed in December like we usually do, there wouldn't be a big outcry on Blue Coat. There wouldn't be.
But there is an outcry, though, because we're not 6 and 8, though. We're 1 and 8.
Yeah, but people are attributing that just purely to the directives. I think my opinion is a bit lazy.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I think I was on your show last week.
Yeah, we spoke about it before. We will move on.
Yeah, we talked about this being a shared blame. I don't think that there's one specific piece of the structure of the club that is responsible for all of this. I think it's just shared. And when I look at like the structure, I look at the sporting directors, I think they made a lot of mistakes. When I look at the manager, I thought he made mistakes. When I look at the playing staff, I think they made, mistakes. They make mistakes on the pitch all the time. The owners made mistakes. So it's all shared blame for me. When I look at the sporting directors, the issue that most people have, because they're the ones that are wearing the basically the identity of this club right now. They're the ones that are wearing it. Let's just be real. We change managers every 12 months, it feels like. So you can't put it on the manager, really. It's the sporting directors that are responsible for this project right now. Yeah, they're the faces of it, at least, right? So they get the flack, they get the blame and the flack because the things that we see as problems, they continually repeat over and over again. Like, I can't tell you how long I've been saying that we need experience. And I'm not just talking about just guys that have played 150 games, 200 games. I'm talking about experience at the highest level. Guys that have played in the businesses of the season and succeeded then. Like guys that have played in the Champions League and got to a semifinal, and like what did they do in that semifinal? Were they the difference makers? Were they the cogs that got their team over the top? That's the type of experience we're talking about. We're not talking about guys that just played 200 games in the Premier League and that's enough. No, we need high level experience that can show these guys how to win, what it takes to win 5, 6, 7 games on the trot. How do you do that? You don't do that just by like, okay, well, we got the best young talent in the world, so they'll figure it out eventually. Especially when you're chopping and changing the manager every 12 months. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry.
How many games this season have we looked at and gone, that half was good, that other half was poor? Like if you have experienced players in your team, they know how to stay consistent throughout a 90-minute game. Like look at the Newcastle first half, then look at the Newcastle second half. Look at the Villa first half, and then look at the Villa second half. It's like you have like players who've played at this level that know how to stay consistent. You don't have that issue. You don't have to you don't get to only enjoy 45 minutes of good football, and that's the issue. And you mentioned about the sporting directors. Fair enough. You mentioned about the sport directors making mistakes. There's only so long that you can blame them for before you have to look at the people that have kept them employed. That's the way I see it. My energy.
Listen, let me ask you a question. Yeah. Just ask you a question. How long do you think that Do you think the fans should have a bit more patience, or are you behind? Like, realistically, how long do we give the project until we go, yo, I have expectations of X, Y, Z? For
I'll
you,
be
Jesse,
honest.
for you personally,
As of right now,
as it stands right now, yeah, like today, are we doing another top 4 thing? 26, 27?
yeah, as I said earlier on, we are in a top 4 battle. That is where we are at. I am first. Let me say what Coach said. I totally agree with every single thing that he said there. These owners, they are not gonna go anywhere. So the only thing we can try to get them to do is to try to change the model. Do they want to change the model? It doesn't seem so. How do we get them to change the model is the question. And I was hearing the guy saying earlier on, I think it was Rob, right? Like stop go to games and that kind of thing. I think that should be the way forward. I know it have a lot of season ticket holders that they already got their money. The owners already have their money, but you'll have to look at other ways of taking money away from them. When fans go to the game, they will go to the canteen and buy stuff or whatever like that. If they don't have this, if they don't have that, they don't have an extra income coming. Also, billionaires, these people don't like embarrassment. If fans don't go to the stadium, that is going to be cause questions are going to be asked. The media is going to start to push a narrative. Yes, they probably already got your money from the season tickets, but they don't like bad press. Empty stands they are going to ask, people are going to ask questions.
100%.
So I think staying away from the stands, well, the match going fans, staying away, empty stadium, that is going to help.
Me ask
As
question
of right now,
yeah?
but
Yeah.
I am done. Me personally, I am done with Blueco.
Damn.
Because they don't look like they want to change the model.
Wow.
If
Jesse's
they
changed
change,
before
if
he
they're
was a bit
willing
more
to
twisted.
change,
And now
then okay, no problem. But if they're not changing, I'm out. I'm done with it. I'm done.
Hey Rob, I'm with you. I'm one of the few in the bucket left. Damn.
I'm done.
Everyone jumped off the boat.
The last of a dying breed, isn't it?
Man said that there's water in the boat, and me and Rob are like, nah, it's calm, like it's calm. Everyone's going, I'm swimming, I'm gone. Yo, yes, here.
Yeah.
Based on what you just heard from Jesse, he's blew Co out. Do you think our new boss can handle the pressure of being one of the biggest football clubs in the entire planet? Do you think he can navigate us to even being top 5, let alone top 3, top 4, and winning a trophy? Or do you think it'll be like I've been seeing in the chat, quote unquote, Potter vibes? What's your initial instinct on Liam? I think you pronounce it Rosenior?
Bro, I've been calling him Reservoir, bro. I don't know how to say his name.
Oh, the slander names already. He's not even kicked the ball yet.
It's not even a slander.
Let him breathe, yes, man. Let him breathe.
I've been calling him Matisse. Even someone made the edit of me on his face, bro. Listen, it's long.
Any black guy with hair is going to be compared to Liam Rosenior. Any blue color. Yeah, Jay, look, Jay, you might as well be where's my shade? Let me get my 3D glasses. You get me?
Jay, put it back on. You look like Liam Rosenior.
Yeah, Jay, you actually low key do. No.
Mate, I get told I look like everyone light skin. I've been told I look like Nico. I've been told I look like Loftus Cheek. I've been told I look like Reece James. I've been told I look like everyone.
Nico I hear though. Nico here.
Yeah.
You saying is here? Do you think Liam can handle it?
Listen, I don't know about my man. I don't know enough of him, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? If you want a bit of copium, ask Rob. Do you know what I'm saying? He'll sell you all the copium you need to believe in this manager, bro. I don't know.
Don't worry.
Listen,
I don't say no copium.
Listen, you're gonna sell the maddest copium, bro. But you know what it is though? I think I'm gonna kind of treat him the same way I treated Maresca, innit? Like obviously with Liam, I'm probably gonna give him to the end of the season, bro. I want to see what he can do in a short amount of time in terms of what type of improvement are you gonna make from now to the end of the season. Do you actually deserve to stay longer than this, or is it just, you know what? Yeah, start looking for a manager till the summer and then get us a different manager. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm not necessarily saying he's good enough. I'm not saying he's the type of manager I would have gone for and all that. But at the same time, like, if they're not gonna really buy anyone in January and all that, even if a different manager comes in, is he really gonna just want to work with the squad? That all, you get what I'm saying? And
no, but it depends. That part depends because I agree with you. Like Rosenior might look at the squad and be like, "Yo, I like the squad a lot." Because initially Maresca did, and then he got rid of like half the guys in the squad anyway. And then since then, it's been a regression in terms of the league anyway. But but does no one here believe that? What do you think, Rob? You think that he comes in and he's under the pressure?
I hope he's good blood, but I don't know if he will be.
If you're treating him like Maresca, you prove me wrong or prove me right. I don't know about you.
I said this earlier today. And the question that came to me, like, do we? Yeah. I think Maresca is a tactician. He's superior. I don't think there's very many coaches in Europe that are better tactically than Maresca. He can outcoach anybody when he decides to. But I think Rosenior is a better man manager. I think he has, that's a better attribute that he has on top of Maresca. So now the question becomes, does this squad need? I'm not saying Rosenior is poor tactically, because he's quite competent tactically as well. Now the question becomes, does this squad need more of an elite man manager? Okay, I'm not gonna say is a great man manager but a good tactician, or a great tactician but a decent man manager which is what Maresca was. A great tactician, but it was just, I don't think it was a great man manager.
So do you think it broke down because it was man management, or just because of the board?
I think it's great. Maresca is great with the players, like the better players, like the starting 11. The fringe players, the Nkunkus, the Joao Felix, and the Gabriel Vega, and the Disassis, and all of these guys, the fringe players under Maresca don't really, the KDH, they're not the happiest. And you can see now the Andre Santos and the Hatos and all these guys are on the fringe. Like, obviously the Cole Palmer will still play, the Rich James will shine, the Enzo Fernandez, the Caicedo, all of those guys will shine. But it was the squad, those fringe players are ones that I don't think Maresca is good at getting them on side or even improving them, week to week. So I think this squad would probably benefit more for somebody who's a really good man manager, even though they're not as great as great as.
On what basis is he a better man manager? I just want to know. On what basis?
On what basis?
Yeah, on what basis?
I think at Strasbourg, he has gotten. You can see he involved the entire squad, right? He rotates quite effectively, right? I mean, I know Maresca used to do 5 or 6 players all together. He doesn't do that, right? Like he gets everybody, every single player is involved, and in my opinion, feels a lot more important. You can see the dressing room dynamic is within all the players is quite good. And this player seems to love him, actually, right? All the players seem to be the one that back him and love him. And so I think for me, based on my personal, I'm not saying I'm a specialist in men management observation or anything, but based on what I've seen, how he's handled Strasbourg and the squad has been given, and how Maresca has handled Chelsea, I think he's handled Strasbourg, the Strasbourg squad better than Maresca has handled the Chelsea squad.
The question is in general, yeah. I want to ask Ahmed, he hasn't spoke. He's been in and out, but the question is the next manager we appoint, is it going to be Liam? Do we see him as a... Yeah, but you're saying Ahmed, yeah? Do we see him as a top 4, I want Chelsea to be a solid kind of team manager? Or are we looking at him as, I see his potential title winning? Because that would determine how you feel about these appointments. Do you get me? Because if you see Liam as I want you to do what Maresca did, but I want you to be a better bad manager, improve the overall squad, I want you to have better relationships in the team, and that will involve us getting more points and whatnot, then you won't look at him too much. But I think the reason why people have reservations over him, to be balanced, is because he hasn't really proven anything in the game yet. And we don't know what we're looking for. Because the blue coat out movement is because we're not going for leagues. It's not because of top 4.
But I disagree with that notion, because you've seen plenty of managers who were not as astute tactically, but they were good men, like very good men managers that are going on to win. Like a Klopp, for instance, wasn't really your best tactician, but he was an elite men manager. Ancelotti, not your greatest tactician, an elite men manager. Zidane, same thing. Sir Alex, same thing. It's rare. Pep is just a goat because he's got the tactical side and he's got the men manager side. Right? That's a rarity, right? And so you've gotten. I think you probably, in order to win, you need players on your side more often than not. You need players to fight for you as much as possible.
Okay. So, yeah, I get that.
You've had managers who have been not as elite tactically, but they're very good men managers, and will put out a team and the players will go to war for them. Klopp is the most recent.
Big up Chris for joining, firstly. Big up everyone who's here, by the way. I think everyone here has a channel. Other than Rob. But Rob's on these channels anyways. He's a celebrity. It's fine. But yeah, Ahmed, it's your time to speak, bro. You've been in and out. But what do you think about Liam? I'm going to call him Roz or Rose because I want to put a positive spin on it, yeah? What are you saying for Liam?
Man, Rosenior, it's easy.
Yeah, it's Rosenior, man. I don't know why people are making it that hard.
Canadian, though. So you know how to do the French thing. Do you get it?
It's not that French, I'll be honest, bro. It's Rosenior. That's it, man. Very simple. But
wait, what?
You know, yeah. I think for me, listen, I think if you're gonna have any expectation about him, I just think, can he just keep the squad going? I think is probably just the aim, in my personal opinion. I'm not really expecting too low from him. I think right now he's either boom or bust right now, and you're just hoping that he can somewhat give you some level of like a consistency at the end of the day. And I think
what's acceptable level for you, Ahmed? To interrupt you, what's acceptable for you? You come back here in May. It's sunny, pina coladas, mocktail version are outside.
I think for me, as long as he, obviously, I think right now we're only 3 points off top 4. If he's able to somewhat give us some level of consistent run of results to get us into top 4, I think that would probably be a good job well done. I don't know about the other stuff, because for me, it'd be wrong of me to ask him to win the FA Cup, a Carabao Cup, or UCL with the level of experience I'm getting right now. I think that would be a bit unfair, at least in my opinion, on Liam. But I think for me, fundamentally, I don't know what he's not going to be a guy that's going to raise the level of the floor of the team, in my personal opinion, because that's probably the type of guy that we probably needed right now. I know we faced him just the other week, but like a guy like an Emery, a guy even like an Allegri, that's probably what would have best suited the team. A guy that can, he's like, obviously his ceiling is pretty low, but he raises the whole team level essentially. But Liam, the only thing I can hope for is that I've heard he's a great man manager. From what I've seen from him from my time watching Ligue 1, that seems to be one of his good strengths, that he's able to get the players and galvanize them. I think if he's able to get the players on board and he does a few tweaks here and there, I think realistically getting top 4 should not necessarily be a problem. But the question is, can he get these players on his side first and foremost?
Great points, man. Genuinely, that's actually 6 points, because the thing is, you could argue Chelsea need more of a man manager and tactician. If we're talking, Jay said before about mentality in the different halves, a man manager would not eradicate is a really strong word, but it would definitely reduce the amount of inconsistencies in each half if you really believe in what's going on, you believe in what he's telling you. And it's not all like cones and where to be on the pitch, and Neto doesn't know what to do with his feet because he's been told too many things. I am being retrospective because Maresca was good, so I'm going to say on lie. But at the same time, you could definitely see the changes from Leeds to Arsenal to Bournemouth to this to Atlanta. It does get a bit like a lot. And we saw it with results. Cruising in games. And to answer Jay's point, question, you can respond to this as well. Jay made a point with Dubes said that one half we could be good, one half we could be bad. And when that keeps happening, I think it's very easy to say mentality's weak. But maybe what if it's just tactical? What if tactically we're not getting it right and in the second half we get it better?
I think part of it also, bro, is just that look at the players you've got.
Well, like, am I being lazy to say that?
I think you need to also look at it. Some of our players, I don't think you can make stuff a bit complicated for them. I'll use an easy example here in Gusto. I think Gusto struggled for a good amount of last season, and even to an extent this season, doing this inverting into the midfield, even at times like playing as like a attacking 10. I think for a guy like him, giving him this level of instruction and tactical nous that are probably needed for that position. I don't think that suits a guy like him. Someone like him, you probably need to keep it basic, keep it simple. That's an easy example of like a player we've got in our squad where you probably
know your players, like know their limitations.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Easy example. I wouldn't even say Neto, for example. Neto and Garnacho are probably similar cases too, where you have to simplify their game, bro. You got to simplify it for them because otherwise.
Yeah, see, it's nodding as well. It's facts, but man's you see Sunderland games, a prime example. It's like too many. Bro, just keep it simple. I guarantee we'll see better output. I'm not saying these are well-beers. But Garnacho's clearly a counter-attacking he's not on the front foot kind of player. He's not like a Doku who can chinky and make a shot or something. And even Doku doesn't get enough goals and assists anyway. Do you get it?
100%.
That's the irony. That's the irony, right? What's so funny is Garnacho's probably got better numbers than Doku.
Garnacho got 1 goal and 3 assists. Doku got 1 goal and 4 assists. But Doku plays with Haaland. Garnacho plays with
and the better team, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's weird. What are you saying, Chris?
You say he's part of the elite recruitment, though. That's where I'm baffled, bro.
Hey Jay, by the way, you're sandwiched in between two people who, you know what I'm saying. So you need to be careful. Because Chris and Rob would deal with you differently.
I'm trying to say, do you not think that the play?
Hey Rob, another person in the bucket is Chris. He's in the bucket with us.
Oh, yeah, question with us. Oh, big up, man.
Oh,
much love.
Bro, because you know what it is for me, yeah, is I feel like I can't keep creating excuses for the players because I know when we win games, people say our squad is talented. And then when we lose games, they say our squad is rubbish. So there has to be somewhere in between. And for me, if we're giving credit to Maresca for winning these trophies, you also have to give credit, by logic, to the board for bringing these players in.
Facts.
This is also a Maresca who agreed to let go of João Felix, Nkunku, and other players of this ilk and that age range. So I'm not saying Maresca is not a good manager. Maresca is a top manager, right? And had we have gone on for another 2 or 3 years and the board had done a better job of investing, I truly believe, yes, we would be up in that top 3, top 2 conversation with ease. Because I look at this team and I go, we're too talented to be 5th.
Facts.
And for these other teams around us, like Villa to be above us, tells me that what's happening right now is nothing really to do with the squad quality. It's to do with the overall gel from the manager and the players together. We've gone backwards. And that's my biggest thing with Maresca that I've kept on saying. We've gone backwards. Listen, it's fair for people to say too many Garnacho inners. I hear it.
Yes,
but you also, for me, the thing is that who else in this squad has done what he's done so far? Probably
that's not saying only much, though. That's not saying much.
Position.
I
feel like he's done much, though.
It might not be saying much, but it's saying a lot for us because he's one of the high performers in our squad.
I think that we should be shooting to be better than that, though. Like if you're saying that Garnacho is our most informed winger or like the guy that's done most in the game, that's probably part of the problem. The fact that we have such meaty wingers.
But that's a bit of a worrying sign, yeah.
No, but I don't think it's the worry.
But sorry. Just quickly, if we're going off GA and you're not going off eye test, by that logic, we're saying Pedro Neto is a better right winger than Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
No. I'm taking in both. What I'm just trying to say is people need to stop chasing low hanging fruit and saying Garnacho is bad. This is why we're losing. By the way, look at our goal difference. Our goal difference is plus 11. In the league, we are scoring a lot of goals. Right. Or at least we're scoring enough goals to keep us in this position where every single week we fail because of these dusty wingers. Teams still can't pass us because our goal difference is better. And we know how bad our defense is. So this, for me, I'm just making the simple point that if you're going to give credit to Maresca, you have to give credit to the board. Now, does that mean I love the board? Does that mean I like the board? That's another debate entirely. For me, I just think the thing to focus on is, I don't know if any of you have seen Liam Rosenior's interview with The Athletic from like 2-3 months ago. Just go and watch that and just see mentally where this guy is at. This guy for me, what I like him, very measured. And for me, what I think is going to be the biggest difference is I think he's humble and I think he's hungry. And when I looked at Maresca this season, what I felt I saw in him in these last couple of weeks was a guy going, you know what, this is actually not worth it no more. And I think fair play. You've done your bit.
Quest been, man? Where's Quest been?
No.
I've been getting cooked everywhere, man.
You're gonna want more.
Let me interject
Trust me,
here.
I'll try and
Jesse,
get.
go
I'll
ahead.
try and
Jesse,
get
go ahead.
this
Let me
right.
come at the back of that.
Let me interject there,
myself.
Just now,
There's
Rob.
Yeah, go on, Jess. Go on, Jess.
There's
Go on,
some
Jess.
crazy stuff
Let
going
me
on right now.
interject there. Let me interject there, right?
This is crazy. I can't lie.
You and I, we speak a lot and stuff like that in the chat and stuff,
100.
right? Here's why a lot of the fan base is saying Bluco out, right?
Yeah.
You just said Maresca had a chance. He agreed to let
get involved.
Nkunku and Joao Felix and these guys go, right? He agreed to it. You don't, at that point, the sporting directors and Bluco now replace these guys with under 20 players, 18, 17, 16-year-olds. We don't do that. Maresca agreed to let them go, no problem. But then you should have replaced them with a bit of experience, as we touched on earlier on. Experience in terms of some players who probably played in Champions League and did something significant. Some players who played XYZ amount of games and they play at a proper level. When you bring young players here, what do you think is going to happen? After a while, they're going to be inconsistent. They won't be consistent. It will drop. The inconsistencies will
Jess,
show.
This would be my counter to that, though. Yeah, this would be my
ownership and the sporting
Chris,
But Jess,
director.
this would
Couch can go after question.
yeah, this would be my counter to that.
Then Ahmed.
The first year when Bowley came in, he was making all these signings. Y'all feel it, blah, 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 all these guys, all the experienced guys. Can we all agree it wasn't working anyway?
Yeah, because he plays Football Manager. That's a different story.
No, but let's just the fact is
Okay,
it wasn't
sure.
working, was
Quest,
it?
that didn't work.
Yeah, hold on. Let me
Yeah,
just
yeah.
land this point. Let me just get on the runway quick.
Go ahead.
We came 12th, and then we came 6th.
Rob's loving this.
It wasn't working. It was dark. It was super dark. So I hear you about the board not bringing in more experience. But you know what the truth is? When Maresca signed, they told him exactly what they were going to do. And he said yes.
That's the thing I don't get.
Yeah.
And when he came in, and to add to that, when he came in, one of his first press conferences, he said, I've studied the squad. I love the squad.
Yeah.
I love these players.
Man,
So again,
Yeah, okay.
I'm not saying
guys.
I'm separated. I should
I
probably
really
go.
gotta speak on this.
I should probably go on
There's a couple things I have to say now. This
I'm
is
with
just,
these
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I mean,
just saying,
Couch is gonna go do the same
This
thing
is-
I'm gonna do. So go.
yeah, this is just I don't know.
I'm
man.
not.
Like,
No, because
No,
because
Quest. Let's listen for a quick sec, man. Like first and foremost, nobody had a problem with the model 2-3 years ago. Nobody had a problem with that. That was something that we all said, yes, this is great. We're going to buy all the young talent. And then about 2-3 years, what they said was 4 windows. 4 windows were going to be contending for titles. That's what they said, right?
and we've done
Okay,
it.
Right.
so we're well beyond those 4 windows first and foremost, right? And what we continually see that's happening right now is we continually repeat the same patterns over and over and over again. Where we're supposed to be at a point where we're supposed to be contending right now, they just keep on recycling the squad over and over again and not allowing it to form, build, and build on it. Like that's the issue that I have right now. It's not about that they
Yeah, but
went
how
young.
we-
Let me just finish. Let me just finish real quick, because like I really think that this is a key point that you really got to come in and feel. Okay, so check it. We continually making those exact same mistakes over and over again. 1 year, okay, we're going to recycle the whole squad again, bring in a whole bunch of new players that are 18, 19 years old. Those guys don't work, so let's ship them out and bring in a whole bunch of other players that are 18, 19 years old. When do we get to the point where this squad is we're starting to build on the semblance of the squad that has worked and give them the structure and ability to grow and mature into a side? Like, when does that happen? We spent $1.5 billion and we still don't have a recognized striker. We still don't have a recognized center back pairing. We still don't have a manager. Let's just be real. We don't even have a manager. We've been chopping and changing managers every 12 months, every 12 to 18 months. Like, these are the things that fall at the footstep of this sporting directors. Not the fact that they can't find talent. It's the fact that they can't build a squad. They cannot build a squad.
But the squad is being built. This is why I don't understand.
But how long is it going to take to build the squad? You have $1.5 billion.
Hold on.
I have to step in here.
I'm just
I have to step in here. Yeah.
Let him respond first. I said, Ahmed, 100%. Ahmed, you can go off the question. Yeah?
From that first window to now, look at some of the mainstay pieces. Enzo Fernandez is here. Caicedo is here. Albeit the centre-back situation is a little dark, but Fofana should have been one of these main pieces. Yes?
But he's not, though, because he's injured and they haven't
Hold on.
from that at all.
Hold on. And then, of course, last year, it's a Mazo. Madueke is gone.
Green as well.
The client was gone. Mudryk got the ban. And then we went and added.
Well, we could do with the client.
Hold on. Just hold on, brother.
Let the man land, man.
Yeah. Then we added, technically,
crashing a burning plane.
Three players that have Premier League experience. So that's what the board felt was the right thing to do for Maresca, because he was also asking for Premier League experience. It wasn't just based on age. And it wasn't just on age for him, because the press conference 2 months ago or a month ago, when we lost and Tosin gave away the game, what did he say? He said, who's one of our most experienced players in the team? And what's their age? And the reporter said, it's Tosin, he's 30. And he said, so it's not about age then, is it? So you can see Maresca's not talking about
it's
age.
about quality. Okay. It's about quality.
Of course, about quality. So when you add João Pedro,
it is about experience though too, because what I said before and what Jesse said as well.
Let him finish because I want to rebuttal.
I really want to rebuttal. I think the experience thing.
I'm just saying,
it's not just like Premier League experience. I played 50, 100 games in the Premier League. It's about what have you done at the business end of the season. That's what we needed to do to get the next level.
Exactly.
Somebody that can play, that has challenged for top honors. A guy that's been in the semifinals of the Champions League, that has been basically influential in those matches. Not somebody that just sat at the end of the bench like Tosin, came into 1 and 2 games. Oh yeah, he's 28. That's not the type of experience that we're talking about here.
Fox.
Yeah, and I would just add to Couch, yeah, which is that also let's look at the players that we've also brought in and the type of players that the manager is asking for. Okay. We brought in Garnacho, a guy that does not suit the touchline winger stuff that the manager is asking for at the end of the day, right? Let's be serious about that.
Let's not even say the touchline winger stuff, Ahmed. The Maresca system relies on one-on-one ability, right? One-on-one ability. That's what we're talking about. One-on-one ability.
Yeah, wingers.
The wingers that we have, one-on-one, have shown us who they are. And
only
not for
two can do it.
Not for nothing, before Garnacho got here, he showed us who he was. So, this isn't new information. They didn't take this out of the blue. This is new. Yeah. This is normal. This is information you could have looked up before he walked in here. He was a 30% dribbler before this.
What was the solution?
Well, the solution was to to make sure you didn't get a winger that was a problem.
So who would you have profiled to pick for this squad? Based on
why is that my job?
I'm just asking.
Why is that my job? You really want me to do this? I could do this. You really want me to do this, but I can do this. You're talking to the wrong person. The wrong person about profile.
No. When people do this,
we can do this.
Yo, can I get some likes, please?
We can do this.
Hey Rob, can I do some roll calls before we start? Continue.
We can do this.
Basically, everyone here. What's it, Jojo? Hold on. I need to support your channels as well. Everyone here has a channel, some bigger than others, doesn't matter. Please subscribe to everybody. I say clip this. What part? He didn't say anything crazy. But I already done that show. Anyway, let's get back to subscribers. Everyone subscribe to Quest, Yasir, Ahmed, Joey, Jesse, and Rob on Twitter, and Couch, who dropped a video yesterday, because they all do similar thing to me. Do that.
Mm-hmm. So Garnacho was the only answer to this. That's the thing.
No, I never said Garnacho was the answer.
No, I never said Garnacho. Oh, Joe, tell me who else. Garnacho was the only answer then.
Bro, why are you still?
This is the thing that annoys me. Hold on.
Garnacho was the only answer.
Rob, let Rob land.
Hold on. This is what people annoy me. You are sitting there telling us you are.
I just gave you a name, Rob. I just gave you a name, Rob.
Wait. You are telling us Garnacho is not good enough. So you are wearing the sporting director's hat to tell us it's not good enough. But you refuse to wear it to tell us who you're going to bring in.
I just told you.
People.
I just told you. You don't want to listen.
You are
good right there.
Why to tell us it's not good enough.
Why didn't we go for Ndai, Rob? Ndai's in the Premier League.
Who's good
He's
enough?
in the Premier League. Why didn't we go for Semenyo? Why didn't we go for Ndai? Why didn't we go for any of these wingers that were in the league?
Are those touchdown
wingers? Why didn't we go for Sade? Why didn't we go for any of these guys? Like, you wanted me to bring names, I'll keep bringing names.
They're not worse than Garnacho, Rob.
The wild dude when it comes to this. Profile names, that's me. I know this.
Your sporting director's hat said,
keep going.
We want touchdown wingers. And then you list me about your
I
players.
can list you 15 wingers better than him. 15.
Are they touchdown wingers, Joey?
15 wingers better than him.
Robin, Joey, why are we getting hell bent on this Garnacho debate when we signed
No, because Joey is telling us because
I know what you're saying, but why do you keep going to
the profile that was needed, and you want to sit
No,
here and tell me who else can we get? I can give you 15
No.
names.
To be fair,
I don't want to listen to them now.
To be fair,
listen to the names. But why is it my job to give those people
I'll
those
bring
names?
I'll bring it around because I want to.
It's dope. Why is it my job?
You think it's your job to tell us it's not good enough?
Rob, I sit here for work.
Yeah, the shouting thing ain't it.
I sit right here for work. Why is it my job to tell these people the names of the players that they need to go?
That's a fair response, Joey. Let's not.
I can give you the names, though. I can give them to you.
That he's not good enough.
He's not.
Wait, so let me interject.
He's not good enough.
Joey, relax. What I want to say is this, yeah. We get Garnacho is a polarizing player. We don't know what that means.
Polarizing
huge debate, whatever you want to use, yeah. He has huge debate over his name. Some people hate him, some people accept him. Either way, it's not great. So I'll speak for Robin Quest. I'm not saying he's he's world class. They're just saying that the sporting directors, which also brought in Caicedo and Enzo and Gusto and all these other guys, also brought in maybe a wrong player in Garnacho. Can we not get hell bent on that debate? There's no need.
But here's the problem, though, right?
Joey, the overall point is that the recruitment, there will always be people in every single football club. Man City have spent about 500 million in the last 2 windows, and they still need about 500 million.
All right,
I don't hear their fans.
That point, though.
I don't hear their fans going,
lost in the point.
Terrible recruitment.
It gets lost in the point, though. The whole Garnacho thing gets lost in the point. You want to take Garnacho as I could use a different example. Like the at center back. At center back, we needed ball playing center backs. Only one of our guys is a ball playing center back. I don't have to. Well, outside Levi, right? Because Levi's injured. I'll give him.
Maresca did say Tosin is the other one.
Yeah,
but he's just bad.
Exactly. But that's my point. Is like
he was good first season.
There's a certain quality that's required to play at this football club. Okay, with the profile, it has to be both. It can't just be one. You can't just get the right profile and think that the quality, if the quality's not good enough, it's going to fit.
Facts.
That's
exactly.
it.
And here's the other thing to that too. Like everyone's going to talk about, because I think the one thing that's being missed in this discussion is the fact that we're in a UEFA transfer ban, like our restriction, if that's what you want to say, and we're unable to bring in those top name talents because we have to spend what we buy or buy what we spend, whatever it is, right? So with that said, that is an issue, but I still blame that on the sporting directors because we're in this position because of them. So and there's a reckless spending to begin with.
I'm making noise about Garnacho. See, I just brought a different subject.
It's crazy, right?
No, but do you know all of this is historic because of the last regime?
No.
So you
hold on.
Okay.
I think
we're banned because of their spending. We're banned.
Bro, you ain't got to say I don't know what I'm talking about, bro.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you what it is right now. There's two things that came out. There's 2 things that came out the last 18 months. There's 2 things. Chelsea, under this new current regime, spent an exorbitant amount of money, right?
Yep.
And when they went to, even with the PSR stuff, what they had to do for PSR was sell the hotel, sell the women's team to be compliant. UEFA did not accept the hotels and the women's team as part of their settlement.
Correct.
They couldn't include that in the payment. So that's why we got sanctioned by UEFA. The stuff that you're talking about under Roman, that is still in court. That hasn't even reached its ruling yet.
Right, but my point is, right, you're talking about what happened in the first year under Bowley, right?
I'm talking about 3 years of monitoring. There's 3 years of monitoring.
No, this
There's
is
3 years that they monitor
This is
for
the
UEFA.
first year under the blue coat when they started buying
This-
expensive players, like
Yeah, under Bowley, when we had no sporting director, and he was
That's
doing the
one
deals on
window.
his own.
That
No,
was
it was
one
the window
window.
after that. It's the window after that they got us. That's when we bought like 25 players, bro. Remember? Like that
Okay.
summer. That
Yeah.
summer when
Yeah.
that summer after the Graham Potter and all that, and when they totally tore it all down and they rebuilt it from the bottom up.
Yeah,
again,
that's what I was
that
just trying to
summer,
clarify.
That was under the regime.
Yeah,
like, the
Chris, you
current-
want to make a wider point? I want you to say it, Ahmed.
So it's their
Yeah,
own
yeah.
decisions, right? Their own decisions caused this.
Yeah, fair enough, Joey. Hold on. Go on,
For
Chris.
sure, 100%, and that's why I was just saying that we all understand that they made a mistake in that first year.
Mhm.
That happened, and now we're suffering for those mistakes. But this is where we are right now. So where we are at, we're not gonna move out of there anytime soon. So what we need to do is just accept it and try and understand where the quality is in the squad. That's the overall point I'm making. Is that actually when you look at this squad, there is tons of quality. If there wasn't, we wouldn't be fifth. Maresca's not a miracle worker. For all of his the great work he's done at Chelsea, he's not Pep yet. So for him to actually have us fifth, good job. For him to have us won the title, I mean the 2 trophies, good job. Again, my point is just coming into the squad, we've got quality. I'm really excited, actually, I'll be honest with you, about Liam Rosenior, because I think what he's going to bring is what the previous title-winning managers have brought in, which is actually not a heavy influence. I mean, a heavy sort of, I don't want to say impetus, that's the wrong word, but not a heavy focus on tactics. They focused on managing the players in the squad. When I look at Mourinho, one of his biggest assets as a manager is man management. Everyone talks about how great of a guy he is. Everyone talks about how much of a difference he makes for the players' mentality. Same thing for Conte. I could not tell you, other than a back three, what he actually does. And I think it was exactly the same, right? When Ancelotti came in. Couldn't tell you what the hell he done for our team. I just know Drogba was scoring bare goals. And when he went to Real Madrid, all of the same things were being said about him at Real Madrid. It wasn't tactical. It was just that he had the team understanding they were great players that could get the job done. And that's why Poch succeeded for the majority of that season, because he was doing the same thing. That's why Palmer could get up to level. I never loved Poch, but I understood he was able to do that. For me, that's where Maresca's work was starting to fail. And you could see it in some of the biggest players. Caicedo's discipline going down the drain. Enzo Fernandez not able to perform at a consistent level. Palmer going backwards. Gittins, no faith or confidence whatsoever. And then you go and talk about the rest of the players. Garnacho, Pedro Neto, blah, blah, blah. Even the Madueke thing. That Madueke thing, like, he really should be a better winger. And we can obviously see even at Arsenal, he's not, like, is still not there, yeah? But you could see glimmers and glimpses. For him to have just been sort of frozen out towards the end, I know it's a club thing with Estevar coming in, but there's also a sense of man management that goes, you're all a part of this squad, even if you're on the fringes for me.
Yes.
And I've heard Liam talk about this, and I've seen him do it. So that's why I'm excited. I love these guys.
I don't want to argue with him. I actually have a lot of points that I agree with about. But
Jojo, I know you do, but I want to say this. You know, when Chris says that, I'll speak for him. He's not saying it's Maresca's fault why we're 1-8, and it's all the reason why we're not doing well. For people in the comments, you might get confused. He's not saying that. He's just saying that is a contributor to where we are. And people ignore that, and all they talk about is protesting Blue Co out in 2 weeks.
So, I guess here's the thing, right? Like, I don't have a problem with firing Maresca because of, like, in my book, if you go 1-7, you that's 1-8, 3-12. That's fireable offense for my
100%. Yeah, 100%.
So to that point, like that point is I don't necessarily like disagree with you on that. I don't disagree with you about the how like some of the quality that we have in our squad is very high. My problem is the build of the squad with the profiles that are necessary, and I don't know if those profiles will be absolutely necessary for the next manager. I was just talking about the profiles that are necessary for the current manager that was involved with our football club. Those were the profiles that were necessary, right? So the one thing that I'm worried about Rosenior, and I've watched a lot of Strasbourg, like me and Ahmed, we watch a lot of League One, bro. Like we watch a lot of League One. But like when I watch Rosenior, my biggest thing is my biggest worry for him is for him to not be an overthinker. Like that, like that. I think a lot of our football club would just like to see a little bit more simplicity back into our football team. Like truly, just truly.
Yeah,
just
spot on,
a little
Joe. We
bit
said
more
that before you came as well. Spot on, yeah.
Yeah, like so.
Gusto,
so like,
Neto,
I don't.
yeah.
My worry for him is he's gonna have like the big brain Graham Potter moves, where he's just gonna every game we're gonna be coming out in a different style, right? And that's my biggest worry for him is for this league, consistency with one style of play seems to be the way of movement. You don't necessarily change every single game. And that he likes to big brain these kind of games, especially, I mean, the big clubs, I don't have a worry about it. I think tactically he's actually much better than people actually give him credit for. Like that part of it is not necessarily what I'm worried about. I'm worried about against these smaller teams, he leaves huge openings on the counter for Strasbourg, and that's because he's putting pressure into the box. He's putting men into the box. Like he will put multiple bodies into the box, but it leaves you extremely vulnerable with this, especially with our football club. So it's like my worry is he's just going to overthink these games. Like that's my biggest worry about the guy. I don't think he's a bad manager at all. I've watched him enough. I know he's not a bad manager.
And sorry, can I just say really quickly, Chels? That
I'll
point
get
there is so potent because that's what worried me about Maresca at the end. You know, when we was in the Club World Cup final, all the players were saying how much Maresca made the players believe, how much he instilled in them the confidence. I remember the Levi Colwill and thing. He was like, everybody's doubting us at their own peril. We're going to show them who we are. Something went wrong in the summer, and I don't think it was just the signings. That's what really.
Remember Maresca in the press conference when they asked him, "Are you prepared to suffer?" You know, PSG can dominate when he told, and he said,
"Yeah, bro." I'm not being real with the Maresca.
Something changed.
Right? Yeah, but now there's just we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there
after Levi Colwill's injury.
Yeah, I need to get your just
everything changed at this football.
But Joey, this is what I would say.
Nobody wants to. You have to admit that not getting him a center back changed everything.
No, but Joey, this is what I would say. If one player, is one player is sufficient enough to derail the entire season, then he's not as good a coach as I thought he was.
And not even that. That shouldn't be the reason why you're down tools.
That's not going to make you derail. That's fine. If you want to go that way,
that's not fair. That's not fair.
It might not be fair, but it is also true. Two things can be true at once.
One at a time, please.
Once again, that's irrelevant to me. What's relevant to me is stability. That's what's relevant to me. Stability is relevant.
Joey, can I respond to that? Can I respond to that point?
So, like,
I understand, yeah. Not getting a centre back.
Nobody can ever get injured in Maresca's
system. Joey, I understand. Levi Cole getting injured when he did was very inconvenient and it was very frustrating when it happened. And we could have got a centre back. I don't think anybody here would have not taken a centre back. But that's not a reason to then derail your own managerial career, the club. I'm not saying he did that straight away, by the way. I'm not going to accuse him of doing it. That's very disingenuous. I'm not going to say he down tools from game one. But over time, he was making comments. You could see he was getting more visibly frustrated. That's not an excuse to be down tools. I'm sorry.
Somebody answer me if you're in a job.
If he wanted to find another job,
I know you're not.
Like he can go do that shit. I don't care. Like that's my.
Joey, can you answer me this?
Part of my club. That's fine.
He should have waited until summer. That's my point.
Can you guys answer me this? Maybe you guys can answer. If you're in a position, right, as a manager, and then you find out that your owners are talking to another coach while you're in charge, what would that do for you? What would that do for you?
I would 100% be frustrated and I'd be upset.
Yeah,
but you know what I'd also do? I'd also shut my mouth if I'm talking to other people too.
Hey, Quest, what do you do?
Yeah, but what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? You
know? Quest. I work on my computer all day. Okay, yes. I work on my computer all day, and if my computer breaks and they send me a 1955 computer and they go and tell you, they say do the same job, you gonna be able to do the same job?
Nah, that's.
No, I wouldn't be able to do the same job. But what I'm gonna do, and what I believe you do, Joey, because you're skilled at your job, right?
Yeah,
is you're gonna make it work and you're gonna find a way.
That's
and I agree with you. So what the best part of what you said was about stability. for me, in the first 4 weeks of the season, when I saw Maresca send out a defensive line with the centre backs interchanging 2 or 3 games in a row, I knew what time it was. When we were having pairs of Josh and Fafana, then Fafana and Chalaba, then this guy and this guy, and this guy and this guy.
To do, bro.
I think
But
that's
that's
at that
for
point,
me.
Quest, he
For
was
me,
trying
that's
to
not good
send
enough.
a message to the sporting directors.
But you ain't.
That is my
I hear you,
problem,
Jess.
Jesse.
I hear you,
That is
Jess,
my
and I would
problem.
back
That's
it,
what he
yeah.
was doing
And
now.
and I do back
Go
it,
on,
but
Jesse,
also
what you
this what also had to be said because we're probably giving too much conversation to Maresca anyway. Like the guy's gone now. But for me, what bothers me about that is, cool, do that when you've got more skin in the game. Don't do it that early because we all loved Maresca. We was all backing him. That's why I'm saying that's what upset me about it so much. Is like he started allowing this thing to get to him too soon. You could have even let it get to January and been like, yo, I'm putting pressure on again. But all of a sudden, he's having conversations. He's saying this stuff in the media. All this is.
Italian,
Hey,
too, bro. Like,
fair play. But
But
if he's Italian and that's what if that's what is in him because he's Italian.
It switches. It's done. We changing.
I hear you, but Ancelotti's not like that.
My problem
Ancelotti's
is
not like that.
Of course he is.
That's what I have a question
he
for you
is.
guys, right? I have a
Of
question
course
for
he
you
was
guys.
back in the day, back
Yeah,
in the
no.
Milan days.
I-
Think about it.
I have
Way
a
back in
question
the
for you
days.
guys.
Think about it.
Yeah, Jesse, what's the question, bro?
Hear this question, right? Because you're basically saying that he should have never more or less shown his hand so early, right?
Yeah.
So my question is, when would have been the right time for him to show his hand? Also, I think he did it because he already was starting to hear conversations. His managerial portfolio started to grow, especially after winning the Conference League and the Club World Cup. You're going to start to hear murmurings. So now he's starting to hear murmurings from other clubs who may be interested, might be bigger clubs, bigger than Chelsea. Now he is going to be in the position of, I could start a demand from Chelsea. He just now, even though this is what we agreed to in the beginning, we have to understand, and the club, the sporting directors needs to understand, this guy just brought you 2 trophies in his first full season.
100%.
Like
You have to understand that
time, right?
things are going to change. He's going to ask for this and that. So now is what this is where we are saying before. I think that is where the fallout came from. You agreed to this, but now you want this. So
yeah, and I agree. But at the end of that season, they also gave him a new contract. So they were signaling to him that we're happy to continue. I don't know what happened, but something obviously happened.
I don't think they gave him a new contract.
I don't think they. I think
just
they
gave him the option. They took the
I don't
option.
think that ever happened though.
They took
Okay, so they took the
had
option.
Yeah, but so at that point, like keep in mind when they took the option, he's also in a position where when Man City comes calling and he tells them about it, he's obligated to say to them, okay, cool. Like obviously I'm more valuable to you right now. I'm looking for a pay bump now. I don't want just this option. I've won you 2 trophies now and this. So I think that he was in his right to ask for it at that point. But it's also in the sporting director's right to say no. But it's from the moment they said no, and I said this earlier today, from the moment they said no, they should have already been said, this is not our long-term solution. What is our contingency plan? And that contingency plan to me is Liam Rosenior, and that's just not good enough. I'm sorry. That is not good enough.
And I agree. I have to agree.
The problem with that logic is this, right? When his profile kind of obviously, went up in the summer after winning the Club World Cup, right? Now all of a sudden you start getting these clubs interested in you, the Man City, the Juventus, and whatnot, right? For me, as Maresca, maybe I'm just if I were in Maresca's shoes, I would focus on winning because winning only will continue to improve my profile. But Maresca instead, for me, he became too obsessed with proving points to the board.
No, he became excessive. It's like saying, if you want me to win, give me the pieces to win.
Exactly.
They didn't give him the pieces to win. They gave him Garnacho.
The point was continue to coach. right? You be an elite coach,
Rob.
coach the
Yeah,
players.
continue to coach and continue to be micromanaged
Yeah, but
after
Rob,
every game,
look,
whether
That's
you're
what
winning or
the
losing.
problem.
That's
let
the
me tell you
problem,
how
man.
football works, man.
He,
Yeah.
like he's getting courted from like Juventus, all these teams, and he's being micromanaged by a bunch of guys that haven't won anything. Think about that for a second.
Yes.
No,
But
but
let me tell you,
why
the
are we?
point is, Rob,
Why are we
one
acting like? Why are we acting like Maresca was given a bunch of bums that he took to the Club World Cup and
Garnacho's a bum.
Oh, yeah,
you
wait.
have Cole Palmer, Rich James,
We're gonna go back to
Caicedo,
this
Cucurella,
every
Enzo
single time.
Fernandez. Joao Pedro get added to it, and then you act like, oh, Maresca made no. He
Did we need more pieces
And also,
to take
Rob,
on the season? Did we need pieces to build on what we had?
Quality squad.
Did we need Rob, answer me this question quickly. Did we need more pieces to build on the success of the Club World Cup?
We need at least one.
We needed more pieces, right?
At least one.
How many?
I would say at least 2 to 3.
I want 2 center backs. Yes,
Because I probably
quality
take one
players,
centre back and maybe another striker. But let's all be honest. When we won the Club World Cup, we were thinking this squad is decent.
Exactly.
And then Colwell got injured. And this is also my thing, right? The bigger issue for me was then when we were all asking for Joshua Chempong to get minutes, what did he get? A little cameo here, cameo there. And then you just stopped playing him altogether.
Yeah, but
and then Hato had the stinker against Karabakh. But you got to use what you've been given, no?
I know, but the problem is this, right, Quest? Is like we all think it's decent, but decent only gets you top 4.
Like, but we were third.
But that's the thing. We were never in a real race, bro. We were never in a real race.
Yeah,
we were never, as much as we wanted to feel like that, we were never there.
I disagree with that.
As soon as we were there, we left it.
Rob, here's why we was never in a race. Like I said earlier on, we have 2 major problems. We had 2 major problems here post December. We always suffer in December, especially with inconsistent players, young, inconsistent players, and then the whole drama happened with Maresca.
So Jesse, what I've said from the beginning of the season is personally, I didn't expect the Club World Cup top players to have started playing so many minutes at the beginning of the season. I was expecting the likes of Hato and Andres Santos and all these guys to be the one that would play the bulk of the minutes, while these other guys, the Enzo Fernandez, and while the Hato and the Santos are getting used to Maresca's system. Now you're giving rest to Caicedo, to an Enzo Fernandez, and then come December time, those players are acclimated to the system. Now, when Maresca didn't do that, by the time we get to December, when Cucurella is knackered, Enzo is knackered, Caicedo is knackered, you can't do it because every game is a must-win. Now you can't bring Andrew Santos in against Leeds or against Bournemouth because it's a must-win game. You can't bring Hato in because it's too late now to try to acclimate them, which he should have done from the beginning of the season to get these players on board, to get them to dust, to play the dust off of them, get them used to the system.
Oh, yeah, see it. What was your question, bro?
For you in December.
I didn't have a question.
We come to December. Now he can play. You can play the likes of Hato, and you can play the likes of
but when Hato played at Karabakh, what did he do for him?
They haven't looked good in your system. You haven't
He
played him though.
Barely spoke.
I think the times he played him. Like you act like they're like when he did play him. What did
he do? Man.
I'm just chilling, bro.
Rob, when he played Hato, what did he do? When at Karabakh, when he started at Karabakh, what did he do?
And this is my thing.
I was good in the second half.
Rob, what you are saying, they are basically saying he should have used Hato and all these new players that can't happen. The reason why that can't happen because these guys have to come here. They are not accustomed to the Premier League. Santos got run of games, and you literally saw this guy. He needed to get way more games to get accustomed to get up to speed to the Premier League. Hato, the same thing. Hence the reason why Maresca had to go with the players who played in the Premier League. Hence the reason why players like Garnacho, when he came in, He was easily starting ahead of Gittins because you saw what was going on with Gittins. Gittins was perfect example. Gittins got minutes and he didn't look good. Garnacho came in and Garnacho basically is he starting left forward right.
With these young players, Maresca had the policy of one mistake and you out, right?
No. I don't think
we
so.
don't see you again. One
Not
mistake
with these owners breathing down his neck.
We don't see you for a few weeks.
Yeah, Rob, that kind of contradicts a little bit because he.
You know what it is as well, yeah. Once you have people, once someone else wants you to do something, it's not the same as you wanting to do it. So if you want to bring a player and then you want to manage him and bring him on the way you want, and then someone's coming to you saying, "Now you got to play him, you got to play him," you kind of be like, you know what, might as well not play him. Just, you get what I'm saying? I know that's not really his role. He should be playing that player. We all had a few games where we thought Hato should have started and rested Cucurella, whatever, yeah? I think, but my main thing about the Maresca is this. You don't win trophies. And you guys know that as well, yeah? You don't... The whole thing about, let's say, winning a Carabao Cup is to set you up to win other trophies and you get that winning feeling and that. Like, you don't really get that. The manager's not going to win stuff and then look back and see, okay, cool. I haven't really upgraded my team to actually go to the next season and actually go and win other stuff. Why am I here then? Do you get what I'm saying? Because what are you going to... Because time is the most expensive commodity, bro. You can't just keep saying, guys, let's just aim for the same aim next season. Let's just get top 4 and let's just hang out and see which guys we can develop. Maybe get a domestic cup and that, bro. Like, that's not really... Like, a manager knows, okay, cool. If I'm not going to get that here and you got people whispering in your ear saying, yo, you could be the guy, manager, like Amarim was saying yesterday, not head coach, you're a manager. Do you get me? He's looking at it thinking, yo, I like working with these men, but if I'm not really going to be back to actually be able to win and show my true potential, or even show these players true potential, match them with better players, then...
I want to say one point, though.
The season in perspective, right? Because we didn't have, like, you bring in these players and realistically our preseason games was the Club World Cup, and most of these players were bought after the Club World Cup. So then we didn't really even have a preseason. Like, you didn't have a preseason to acclimate these youngsters into the team. What preseason did he have? A week? So you want to bring youngsters in,
especially the two wingers,
to acclimate to the beginning of the season? Doesn't make any sense.
That's true.
But that is why at the beginning of the season, for me, you play these players. Although they might make mistakes, but you play them into the system. Like, he played Hato. The first game that Hato played, I remember, it was against Brentford. And you go in the first game in the Chelsea, you're inverting him in midfield. Why?
Yeah, and he was getting spun.
Why?
He was getting spun.
You're inverting him in the midfield because that's the position you bought him for. That's the role that he's supposed to play in the squad. It's that simple.
You want him to acclimate. Wait, Rob, how do you want him to acclimate to the system if you're going to play him in a different role than the system actually asks?
No, but
play him against West Ham.
That's it.
Don't play him against
That's the reality, right?
To be fair,
when we played West Ham, that was the only game we actually dominated.
That's true. That's true.
Opportunity to dominate, and we had time to play him. If he brought him in, probably didn't bring him in the West Ham game. Fine, you can kill him for that. But you had to understand the circumstance, right? The circumstance is these guys had 2 weeks of preseason.
No, but my overarching point is, like, we don't invert every fullback, right? The first thing you do, like, it's coming from a different league. Not only does he need to acclimate to the league, you need to acclimate to the system, right? You without preseason, you're never gonna do both at the same time. So choose one. Let me acclimate him to the league, and then we'll acclimate to the system as the season goes along.
But
right?
Rob,
invert Gusto or Rhys James at the right back, and then let him just be
Rhys James, injury-prone Rhys James.
Make it easier for him.
Yes, but Rob.
Well, do you know what? He's gone one step further and played in midfield anyway. So
now that he's proven himself.
Yeah, but Rob, if he had done that and play all these new players in the earlies, would we be in the same position in the table that we are now?
No, I think we'll be much better.
You think?
What are you talking about, man?
We'll make a difference.
We're in the position because we rode our best players to this position. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. The rotation thing, when you're playing with a bunch of different players week in, week out and stuff like that, you lose the core. You lose the cohesiveness of the squad. We had a lot of players to integrate. The only thing I will give you, Rob, the only thing I will give you is he did not rotate in the new players well. He didn't do a good job of that. Because when we're talking about rotating, he's making 5 and 6 changes, whether he could just do
11 changes.
Yes,
I agree with that.
Yes,
I agree
11 changes.
But don't tell me
That's
that we'd be in the same position now if he would have just continued with the rotation of the 13 players expanding that to 18 when we had no preseason. And we had a bunch of players that were so young in their football. That's impossible to say that.
If he had played the Hatos, right, and the Santos earlier, I think right now we'd be in a better position because in December when the games are thick and heavy, I don't think we would have gone 1-7. I think we would have been in a position to rotate and get better results now. I mean, it's not like we went on a 6 or 7 game winning streak at the beginning of the season, anyways. Right? We dropped points against Brentford. We didn't win against Crystal Palace. We lost against United. We lost against Brighton. It's not like we were
some of those players that you asked
for running away with the league at the time.
Here's the thing.
We're dropping points anyway.
But you would have lost. That doesn't mean you wouldn't have dropped more points from the mistakes that they would have had to make from.
You'd have dropped way more points.
You can't have it both ways, right? You can't have the results would have been the same with these players, and a lot of these players played, like Josh Achimpong played in a lot of these games, and when Hato played against in the Champions League, we had situations that we had to deal with. Gittins in the Champions League when he doesn't do anything. But that's the thing. I'm not even bringing up the one player that you don't want me to bring. The one player's name that we all
Who's that
argue about.
Number 49, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh.
No, but I think
I'm not even bringing him up.
Joey, the point I'm making is this: when he was making every time he was playing the Josh and the Hatos and it was like when he's making 11 changes, 7 changes, right? Like play
and they know that, Rob. They
were starting 11, and have Hato and Gittins, right?
Yeah.
And next to Casedo and Enzo and Rhys James and Esteva
and
Santos. And Joey, I understand
that
what
would have guaranteed that. See,
Joey, when you say would have guaranteed, but that's not the point. We're speaking in hindsight. We don't know. We're just saying better to try it than what we didn't try. That's all it is. We don't know. It could have been worse.
I mean, I'll tell you something now. Liam Rosenior.
You saying it could be worse, Joey,
Andre Santos to the fucking.
No, he will.
Yeah.
No, he will. Yeah.
But wheels fall off, bro.
But we need that.
That's a good thing. That means a starter who plays a lot when we're playing a lot.
So one point I would like to make.
I'm so skeptical.
One question I would like to make.
100%, Joey. We all are.
One question I'd like to ask or make is this, right?
Last question, yeah.
Why is this? Why is it that we're sitting here and the players that we bought in the summer, none of them look good? Are you not gonna tell me all of them are bad? None of them have looked good. Esteval, yes, has had some great moment because he's just an elite talent. But you can't tell me that none of our summer edition have looked remotely anywhere close.
I don't know what
you can tell me it's because they're all rubbish and they're all not good enough. No way,
bro. I don't know.
That's the coaching.
It's the problem I have with people, yeah. Not with Joey or Couch, which is disagreeing. That's fine, but this is the problem. People need to pick a struggle. Are the players just not good, or are we underperforming? The issue I have with these conversations is people can mix them together, and it gets convoluted.
Why can't it be both?
Joey, I never said it can't be, but the problem is when you mix it together, you don't really get an answer from it. It's just people say a lot of, "Oh, there's not good enough," or the mentality, or the manager, and then it's like, "But how are we finishing 4th last year then? How are you beating PSG? Why are you rating us to be in the title race? Why are you rating us to be better in the league this season?"
You're talking about this is why I don't speak to other.
I speak about objectives because week to week analysis. Week to week, I barely spoke. Week to week analysis is an issue because if we go and beat, like Rob said earlier, Charlton, Fulham, Arsenal, what are they going to say then?
Right. If we make another Carabao Cup final,
then we lose to United at home or something crazy, and then it'll be see why I don't rate the squad anymore.
And this is why I said
I don't do the
earlier
week to
on.
week thing.
week
This
to
is
week
why
thing's
exactly
lazy.
why I don't do the
The
week to
week
week
to
thing, because I
thing is-
understand.
yeah,
You don't know
I
how the
look at
season's gonna
chunks
play
of
out.
games. I look
And
at chunks
Maresca
of
didn't
games.
give us the
If you look
opportunity.
at Chelsea, if you look at
Couch,
Chelsea from the
Maresca didn't give
beginning
us
of the
opportunity
year,
to see how it's gonna work out. So it's hard for me to analyze the season now because he's
Exactly.
throwing toys at the prime. And let's keep
No.
it a buck. He threw his toes at the prime. He didn't need to
okay,
go.
but here's the thing about the week to week thing. Like, and this is the problem with like content, right? Content creation. Like, I look at a chunk
what
of
I do?
games. Like, I didn't even start looking at Chelsea's season until like November.
We
To
all
be
do
honest,
content.
like I just don't care, right? I didn't care about where they were, what they were. Oh my God, they're in the title race, out of the title race. I didn't care about that stuff. And the reason for that is because you have to look at the progression. Like, if you look at the beginning of Chelsea till now, we're a top 4 team. That's essentially where we are.
100%.
That's exactly what we are, right? So all this talk about, oh no, we're in the title race, like that stuff's irrelevant to me. It's irrelevant.
And they're
right?
the same
Because you
people
look-
crashing out, Cal. That's my point.
Yeah, maybe, but it's good for ratings.
No,
right?
it's not maybe. The same. I'm gonna say their names, Chels. It doesn't benefit me to anybody's name. But the big accounts, the people follow on Twitter accounts that we might reference to with news, aggregation, updates, will be saying we should be doing this, but in the same breath, there'll be blue co out. That's where I get annoyed at them people. Joey, Couch, Jesse, Ahmed, Jay. The reason why we're on the panel is a good debate. People love the show. It's because we're good points to the table. We can battle each other, and it makes sense. We're being consistent. Couch will be next week with Kes and Rob and say the same things, no matter the result. The issue I have is the fan base is very not like that. They're very polarized. It's very up or down.
Yes.
We're winning the World Cup, and I don't mind it too much. And then there's 1 winning 8. Maresca wasn't the issue. He was just saying he covered the cracks. No, he wasn't. Like, let's not revise history because he's gone. I didn't want him to go, but let's not revise that. And then it's, but we signed Garnacho. What about Esteval? What about Santos? What about Hato? Why we meant one player?
You know what the funny thing is?
Agree isn't great. Like, I don't not like him, but I don't think he's a well beater.
Okay. Can I just speak to Marissa? I've got to feed my kids, so I'm just going to say this one little bit.
Not Lewis, by the way.
And I think that you guys are a little bit. You guys are asking for a lot from a very little, right? We didn't have a preseason. We brought in about 5 or 6 new players. You're asking him to integrate it. You're asking him to finish, contend for the title. You're asking him to compete in the Champions League. You're asking for all these things. And all the man asked for was a center back, right? That's all he asked for, because he said, you know what? I can provide these things, but I need these pieces. They didn't give him that. And then now we're talking about, oh, well, he's been a poor man manager. He's been poor at this. He's been poor at that. Look at the season that we're asking this guy to deliver on. Like, and look at the squad, the youngest playing staff in the Premier League. No experience. I don't care what anyone says. We don't have any experience in that side. Okay, no quality experience as far as I'm concerned. And then we're telling him that, like, he's not been good enough because he hasn't been able to integrate Hato and Gittins and Garnacho and all these guys. First of all, you need a preseason for that to instill your true philosophy, your tactics, and your principles. You need a preseason. You didn't get that. You need, when you're playing a match every 3 days, like with the Champions League, and there's no real drop off from one game to the next, you need to have a full squad of players up to speed, because you can't go into those matches midweek and play, whatever little. It's not like the Conference League is what I'm saying, essentially, right? So all of these things were very new for the players, and also very new for the manager. He hasn't gotten the levels right, yes, but at the same time, we asked a lot of a young manager who's very inexperienced in his own right. And I think that we have to understand that all of this still goes back to Clear Lake for me. These guys brought in an experienced manager, and they brought in inexperienced players, and they're expecting us to, the level of expectation for Chelsea is to be competing on all fronts at all times. And we can't do that with the current construction of the squad. That's all I'm saying. If you guys don't agree, that's fine. But truly, I don't see a big enough squad to contend on all fronts. And that's what we demand.
No one's actually said that on the stream.
Yeah. I don't think.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
about
I
that?
don't think
Hope you guys have a good day.
Rob, Joey,
love Joey.
Yes, Jimmy.
Us side on this side of the fence, I don't think any of us, or even people who think that us, have said we must win the league. That's the irony. I think Terry.
But you want to contend, though, right?
Terry gets on to me, and I go to him. He says, "You rate your squad." I was like, "Yeah, third and fourth for a trophy. What's wrong with that?" And he goes, "Well,
the thing is on
you're not asking to be second."
So essentially, we are where we are then. So what's the problem with the
No. But the thing is, if Maresca said, "I need a new centre back in order to contend," and the club is telling him, "Well, we don't think the squad right now is good enough to contend. So
I don't think they said that though.
No, but as I say, you say he went to the sprint right and told them this is what I need to contend, and they didn't give it to him. Well, they weren't expecting him to contend, right?
You don't think so?
I don't think they ever expected him to contend for that title.
So if his own expectation was to contend, that's his own problem.
Okay. All right, I'll leave it there then.
Yeah.
Big
That's
up,
good energy,
good
man.
chatting, you guys.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll try and get his panel again because he asked you to join the panel. So
it's a nice
big
one
up,
for
big
sure.
up,
Good
bro.
So we won't do all the time. Everyone's busy. But God bless. Big up Rob, Quest, Jesse, Jay, Couch, Ahmed, Yasser, Joey, who joined late as well. Big up Quest for joining his debut, by the way. And you, Rob, will become friends. And by the way,
yes, man.
Rob,
I did
Big Six, he's pushing the genders. Big Six.
Always on the
I
other
see him
side.
on the other ones. I see it all the time.
Yeah. So you need man to link up.
Yeah.
So
we need to link up. I need because I need a partner on these streams, Quest.
Come on, man. Let me know, man.
True. Yeah, everybody join, man. And last thing that's very, very important, every single person's channel is down below. So if you like what they have to say or you want to support them, yes, they got to 1K with the help of all this kind of stuff. So make sure you go to below. Literally go for it. Guest handles is all there. Everybody's channels and Rob's Twitter as well. MR Paul 2001. Correct. But yeah, be up, people. Enjoy it. I'm going to eat some food. It's really late in the UK. But yeah, thanks for joining. Good night, man.
Yeah, guys.
Love.